Hey guys, what's up? This is the Demon Corpse, and today we'll be talking about VR and PSVR and all these VRs that everyone thinks is the future, but I don't think it is yet. I think we have to wait another 20 more years-ish, maybe. Well, probably it's 2023, so maybe another 28 more years, maybe, or hell, maybe even a 30 more years at this point. I don't know. VR right now is in a weird situation. It's like with Nintendo when they first made the Virtual Boy. Remember that? Yeah, that was an interesting system. It wasn't really VR, but it was something. And now we've kind of gone to VR with the Wii, but that was interesting. And then Sony was really pushing the VR with their version that wasn't really that good. And then 360 had the Kinect that was really successful, but that thing was a hunk of crap. I still remember getting that thing. That thing was trash. Like the only thing that was good was Star Wars, but the only thing good about it was the last mission because it was really good. That whole game should just been a whole space mission. If Star Wars the Kinect was like just space missions, it would have been like, wow, this was a great game. But that system was a complete disaster. The Kinect, ugh. Thank goodness it failed because no one likes it. And some people still use the Kinect weirdly for the Xbox One. I don't know why. It's a hunk of crap in my opinion, and probably it would be somewhat weird to collect it. That would be so weird that years later the Kinect becomes expensive for no reason. It's like, why are people interested in this thing now? And then there'll be YouTube videos about, oh, how the Kinect was so unappreciated. It's like, no, it wasn't the first time it was successful, and the second time it flopped because no one liked it. And it wasn't even backwards compatible. And now with Sony PSVR, and I would say Sony's PSVR for the first version was really cool. It was a cool version of VR, but it wasn't like it was successful for what it was, but I don't know. I didn't have PSVR, so I can't really give my full opinion. But by looking at people who used it, it's pretty cool, and I liked how they did. But it was at 720p to somewhat 1080p because of how the lenses work. So, yikes. So yeah, it wasn't like the best experience, but by looking at PSVR 2, there's a lot of cool things with it, and I like how it's probably at a stable frame rate of 1080p to maybe 4K. I highly doubt 4K, but they're going to try to push 4K on on probably the advertisements. And I think I saw some advertisements when I was doing DoorDash when I was at Best Buy weirdly, and I just went up on break and I think I saw a PSVR with 4K, and I was like, huh, interesting. It's gonna be interesting if there will be physical media for the PSVR, like discs. I highly doubt it. I think it's all gonna be digital, but I'll watch out. I know PS4 VR there was some physical copies that you could put into your console and play it, and that was interesting. I thought that was cool, but some people it's probably not going to happen. Maybe this time, maybe there will be. I don't know. But looks like the PSVR 2 has a lot of improvements, but it's like $500, and the PlayStation 5 is like North America is like 500, but good luck trying to get it for 500. So you'd be paying 600 plus 500 plus taxes. You're paying almost around one like $1,500 just, so maybe around 2,000. What type of bundle you get? It's gonna be expensive. Like this is just at this point you just get PC, and with PC that's like the same amount I think for like a PC that could play VR. I believe. I highly doubt it, but that thing is expensive. Ugh. I just say just get a Switch. Just get a Switch at this point. At least it's fun. At least there's a lot of good games and they don't censor games. So that's a positive for the Switch, but that's not VR. So will Xbox ever go back to VR? I highly doubt it, but it could happen. And it's shocking to me at the state of play they didn't even show Half-Life Alyx. I'm rather shocked Sony hasn't like done a deal yet with Valve to be like, hey, can you port this game to PSVR 2? We'll pay the money to port it. Like, and that's the thing at the state of play that I got really annoyed by. And I'll probably put it in here as well. But the state of play was kind of like, eh. Baldur's Gate 3, that was cool to see. And I'll probably make a video about that and my own opinion on it. But Then there was a lot of PSVR games that I'm like, eh, they looked boring. They really did. But that Horizon, whatever it's called, Call of something, I don't know. Call of something, I don't know. Maybe Call of the Night. I don't know, but it looked interesting. It looked really good. But I would love to see a lot of like House of the Dead type of arcade games for the PSVR 2. That would be good. Even horror games, that would be amazing. Like horror games for the PSVR 2, and there will be like a Resident Evil 4 VR mode. That will happen. I fully believe the remake, not the original version they did for like is Resident Evil 4 the VR version, not the remake, but the original version? Because I know they made a VR version for Oculus. Is that on PlayStation? I don't truly know. Maybe it is. I think it's on Steam. I think it should be. Maybe I truly don't know, but it's gonna come to PlayStation. It's going to happen. They've already done Resident Evil 7, no 8, 7, 8 VR. They've already released those, and I think they were at the State of Play Resident Evil 8. And weirdly, it's so weird that the PSVR 2 is not backwards compatible. So that's really going to make the system flop, in my opinion, in some way, because people who bought the first one's not going to buy the newest one just because they can't play the old games. And that probably will affect the sales in some way. And I know someone's going to say, "Oh, they can't do that because of this." Well, I believe they could. Like, if you can emulate a damn PS1 game on your damn phone, you can make PSVR 2 games, well, PSVR 1 games backwards compatible with the PSVR 2. Uh, Naming, but it's not bad naming as Xbox. But besides that, what else was like that was really cool. Like there was a lot. There was a lot of like decent games, but the state of play was like blah. Except Baldur's Gate and Fortnite Suicide Squad. That's really what it is. It looks like a Fortnite clone. But I would give the state of play like a 7 out of 10. Like it wasn't the best. I can't give it an 8. A 7 out of 10. Or maybe a 6 if I'm merciful. Like I could give it a 6 or 7. It was bad. But besides that, I would say VR in the future. I would say VR would be like SAO, and I'm not a big SAO fan, but the VR in that universe, that's what VR is going to be like. Well, you have a helmet you put on, and you go to bed, and voila, you go to another world. That's the VR. Like that's like the end game plan, in my opinion. What all these companies are trying to do, they're trying to make that version of VR. Like this whole VR where you're moving around, that's stupid. Like there's not enough space in like housing. Well, in America, yes, because of how big this country is, but in other places, they live in small environments. So it's going to be very difficult to even push VR. So the thing is that they may do in the future whenever we make it a PSVR or I don't know, the Oculus or the Facebook something, I don't know, these weird ass names for this VR. It's going to be sooner or later there's going to be a version of VR where you're just in your bed sleeping. And as of right now, I would not recommend buying this stuff just because it's weird. It really is. Like this VR stuff. I don't know. I'm not big. As you can see, I'm not really big into VR, but by looking at it, it's not going to be as successful as a lot of people would want it to. And I could see it as very successful, but before right now, it's in its early phases. We may see something good happen, but for now, let's hope for the best. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. And I kind of already talked about the state of play in this video, so I'm not going to make one about the state of play. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll do all three that happened just for the heck of it, just because of everything that happened. Just make it easier. But besides that, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, if you want to support me, go to my Odyssey channel. That's where I try to post everything. But that's all. See you, scavengers.